Hey guys, it's Upa here, and today we'll go through boss Quinlan in Shadowy Cave of Demon Conquest. So the requirement for this is 600 million, and if you're wondering why I'm not covering boss Holder, it's because I actually covered this boss very long ago in a separate video, and you can find that video in the Demon Conquest playlist. So anyway, back to Quinlan, let's see what his skills do. For his basic attack, very straightforward, just does damage. For his special 2, does damage and then inflicts Decadence, and this effect will be removed when enemies deal damage to Quinlan. We'll see what Decadence is in a little bit. For his passive, when battle starts he summons Thunder of Shadow, and when more than 2 enemies have the same mark, inflict Tiredness on them, and when more than 3 enemies have the same mark, inflict Tiredness and reduce damage dealt to Quinlan by 99%. Next, deals 3 stages of damage to all enemies and inflicts speed down 2 on targets with Tiredness. Tiredness is this thing over here, when you have either 2 or 3 enemies with the same mark. And if this target also has Decadence, which is the special 2 one, inflict speed down 2 for 4 turns instead. So the main thing you need to take note for this boss is that you should only run, or you should run 1 hero of each mark, so that will be red, green, yellow and blue. And then for your 5th slot it can be a duplicate, but those heroes with the duplicate marks will be given speed down 2. So I think the team we will use is definitely Dian Indra. Then let's find someone who will give us survivability and is not of the yellow mark. So I'm looking for Nordek, which I think will be useful. And now we need a red mark character and a blue mark character. So for blue mark, Lance should be a pretty good option. And for our red mark character, maybe Ants will suffice. So pretty free to play friendly team, no limited time heroes. And the goal honestly is just to deal as much damage as we can. So since we are running 1 of each mark, we should not have any issue where our characters get 100% damage reduction, which is of course something that we should be avoiding. So the requirement for this I believe was 500 million if I recall correctly, but I don't think that will be an issue. We are already damage recording and you can see we are already dealing quite a lot of damage to the boss. And let's actually not shield up over here, let's do our basic attack. And we can just keep going. This should be pretty easy. In fact, I think I'm gonna just leave this fight on auto and we'll keep going until we see us hit 500 million damage, and I think this should happen pretty quickly. So of course Lance in particular is definitely not needed for this boss. In fact, I would say none of these characters are needed. You just need to have 1 of each mark and put in of course someone who gives survivability and then someone who gives or who does damage. So if you don't have the characters I have, maybe you have other options. You know, of course if you have limited time heroes like Marie, that would be amazing. Otherwise, you know, solid damage dealers will still work, whoever they are. So at turn 4 we are already at 670 million, in fact it's going a lot higher already. And let's just back up the fight from now because this is definitely more than the requirement. Turn 4 and 785 million. This boss is really straightforward once you know the gimmick, which is to run 1 character of each mark, and that's exactly what we did. So very easy. If you need, take a look at the recommended heroes and sort by similarity. You'll see some teams which should be relevant to what you have. And that's all we have for today. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time.